Ever since I started this project, like my personal, it has been in bloom in my career.
Hi, I'm Michael,
Hi, I'm Michał.
I'm Violeta Sofia.
and we're here today to discover Violeta's art.
Violeta, tell us more about yourself.
So my name is Violeta Sofia and I am an artist, I'm a photographer. I do fine art photography, which is my hands.
Can you tell us more about how your inspiration comes around? How did you think of combining the different elements
The
together?
different elements. So I started getting vitiligo when I was 19. I think luckily for me, it was a time where, or right before the time it became fashionable. So people were asking me, people will find me on the streets and they'll be like, oh my God, you're so cool. I want to take your pictures. But I didn't like the association of my skin condition with being fashionable. So I never really allowed anyone to take my pictures. But I knew it needed to be documented. So I started taking pictures at some point where my hands became completely white. And I saw a picture of a man on a table with flowers. You could see everything. So I tried to imitate him, but as I was progressing with the pictures, I thought it looked better without my face in the pictures. And it was just about the hands, it was just about the beauty of the hands. In the beginning, it was just documented, but then it turned into loving myself, embracing the change and the resilience. And then from there, it has transformed into so many other things. But initially, it was just about creating something beautiful with what people think that is not so beautiful.
So you could say that your art became a form of a therapy for
Yes, definitely.
you. What role do the flowers play in it?
So my hands, they're actually flowers, and the rest is added flowers onto it. So you've got the shirt, so this one that hasn't got a shirt, but some others have shirts, and the shirt is like the vase. And then I wanted my hands to be the flowers, and then add more flowers into it. So that was and I love flowers, and it's a universal language.
It's obviously very challenging because you're in the pictures,
Yeah, oh,
but you
super
have to
challenging,
manage
yeah.
the pictures and you have to do the fixes.
Yes,
So
yes.
how do you go about this?
Okay, when I start, I put a vase, and then I do all the arrangement and take the pictures and see how it looks and move. And when I have what I want, then I put the
You
shirts
replace,
in.
okay.
I have my hands, and then I hide under. The bigger the shirt, the better. So I hide under, but then the problem comes because my hands are here, I have to bring them down. So I have my laptop there, I have an iPad, I have my phone in between there, and I could trigger the camera
Yeah.
from all of those places.
You should do some behind the scenes, right? So,
Another way as well, so I could be, this is the less glamorous way, so I have my phone here, I could move my hands freely, but then I will be pressing with my nose, or I will be pressing with my tongue, whatever I could find.
Right?
So it doesn't look very glamorous, but yeah, but it's challenging because also the shirt has to sit in the right way, the flowers have to sit in the right way, the hands need to look like they're holding something really light, where the flowers are very heavy.
That's why I was asking, because I thought as well that whenever you have elements like here, you know, you've got your floral tattoos,
Yes.
as we call them.
we know how you photograph, how you shoot, how you come up with your ideas. Now what happens afterwards?
So I do the pictures, and so I print them. So I do originals, which is just one, and I print them on canvas, but then I paint on top of it. If I do this just as a picture, a lot of people say, oh, it's not art because it's a picture. And I was like, no, but I'm also an artist, I also paint. So where my photography ends, and that's the limitation of what I want to do with the photography, then I add another layer of texture. It creates a little bit more confusion because even when it's just plain photography, people will ask me, oh, is it AI? Is it a painting? Is it? So I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
what
let me
is
make
it?
it, let me make it more confusing, let me have a fusion.
You have a very diverse background.
Yes.
And you've lived in different places and you've moved
Yes.
around. How that has helped you come up with all these amazing works of art.
And I'll expand on this. How has this influenced your choice of colors and vibrancy and saturation and colors that you use?
So I think the color is definitely, I like to think that it's an African thing. So you need, even growing up, if you were black, everyone in the family would be like, no, you can't go out in black. No one died. You need to wear colors. All masters is growing up in Spain. So it was all very traditional. It was all Picassos and Dalis and very traditional approach. So the African is my background, my heritage. Spain is my education. But when I got to the UK, I think that's what unleashed and gave me
Growth,
the freedom. But when I came here, I was like, yes, you could do whatever you want. You could, and even the education was a lot more open. They would teach about India, they would teach about Africa, they would teach about Europe. And also you could do your own research. So I was then able to start looking into female photographers, female artists, African, and bring more of that. And that was welcome, which I didn't have before. And I just enjoyed that I could pick what I want. So that's how.
Well, you produce great work, and obviously you're being noticed everywhere.
Yeah, that's good. Yes.
So how do you feel you and your art are in bloom at the moment?
So I feel that, I'm not trying to sound, but I feel like ever since I started this project, like my personal, it has been in bloom in my career, if that makes sense. It has, as soon as I started, there was a really good reception. So it keeps blooming all the time, it keeps changing all the time, and I get to share more of me. And I get my healing through it.
For everyone watching the video, this is actually one of the projects we worked on together with Violeta. This was some time ago, and there will be more of these to come too.
I hope so.
Yeah.
When we first met together, we had just a casual chat on let's do a project together. We had a discussion. We obviously loved your work. We found it really beautiful and very magical to us as well. We discussed your hands at that time as well. And that was essentially the source of inspiration of creating the floral tattoos. The idea behind this was to make your hands alive. So give them even more life. You're holding beautiful living bouquets in your hands, beautiful arrangements. We thought of bringing this element and let it crawl up and let it elaborate further on this concept of...
Your hands replace a vase.
Yes.
But in this case, it was more about your hands being also a vessel or support for these little flowers that could normally not be celebrated in a way that the roses are celebrated.
Yes.
There. So it was a way to give them that support, to give them like a base where we can see them and we can appreciate their beauty. Similar to these floral tattoos that we've done for you today, it's the same idea that I discussed earlier. So it's celebrating these little shapes and forms. Every single flower, every single stem has to be glued individually.
Yes.
It's a very patient, very timely. And again, it's like we discussed earlier, it's very time sensitive because these flowers won't last.
Now I want people to see my art. It's very limited because I want to keep it the number quite small, so I don't reproduce a lot, but I do want people to see it.